Welcome to another Inner Growth Lounge. Today, I'm very happy to have here with me Lauren Taylor. She's a nutrition coach and the founder of the Lauren Rae Coaching. She helps women transform their lives, building wealth and success by optimizing their health and well-being. She's on a mission to change the narrative of diet culture with a holistic approach that is grounded in self-reflection, self-acceptance, and nourishment, laying the foundations for a confident, successful, and empowered you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, and I said it wrong. It's Lauren Rae Coaching.
Lauren Rae Coaching.
Okay. So, Lauren, I'm very, very happy that you're here today. I have questions to ask you on the subject. But firstly, I want to know what got you here. Why are you doing this? I mean, what's your motivation and the reason that you're doing this?
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I'm so excited to be on here with you today is because I just think I've heard the things that you speak into a lot, and I feel like it's so aligned with my journey and the work that I do. And I really, I really found that there's a real power in when you can nourish your body, when you can really take care of yourself, when you can say yes to yourself and nourish your body and nourish your mind. And for me, my journey went from a place where I was really insecure. I really lacked confidence. I had very low self-esteem. I wasn't able to take the actions in my life to build wealth and build success and build the life that I wanted because I just didn't have that belief in myself. And I went through a journey for various health reasons that led me to nutrition. And not only did I overcome the battles with my health that I was facing, but I was able to build that self-esteem, build that confidence, and really unlock a version of myself that I didn't know could exist, really. So that led me to taking it further and studying and bringing that out to the world.
So how does it connect? Like, I mean, you're talking about the confidence and the belief in yourself, but how do you connect it with the nutrition part?
Yeah.
So how does it help?
Yeah, I think it's such a great question because I think it's two things that people think, well, hang on, how do they go together? It's not what you usually hear about when it comes to building confidence. We're talking about mindset and things like that normally. But there's really two key pieces for it for me. So on the one hand, when you learn how to feed your body properly, when you can prioritize giving it food that is going to nourish it and make it feel good, then you're going to improve your health. It's going to make you feel better. And that on the one hand is going to improve your mental health. It's going to improve your energy. It's going to it's going to change the way that you show up in the world, right? Because you feel different. You feel good from the inside. And, there's other benefits. I think there's maybe more cosmetic benefits. So your body shape might change, your skin's going to get better. So things that naturally make you feel more confident in yourself, right? But there's a second part to it, which I think is really key when it comes to building confidence. And it's that when you take acts towards yourself that are positive, when you show yourself kindness, when you show yourself love and care, you are telling yourself that you matter. You're telling yourself that you're important and you're worthy and you deserve to be looked after. And that really builds and cultivates this love for yourself, right? And it really it just it makes you feel empowered in another way. It's not how you're feeling in your body, it's what you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself that you matter, so you reinforce that to yourself, right?
Mhm.
I think as women, we give ourselves a hard time a lot of the time.
Very much. Yeah. I
We
mean, I
don't.
see a lot of women that they want to lose weight, but they are so aggressive towards themselves. It's like I have been there too, to be honest. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie. I had a lot of. I was never overweight,
yeah,
but I mean, I had times in my life that I had like 5 kilos less than I am now, and I
yeah,
was so. I was criticizing so much myself, and I was so aggressive towards me, either because I was going on a diet and I wouldn't be, um, you know, very faithful to it, and I was feeling very bad for not being able to do it, but I was not coming from a place of love
yeah,
towards me. It was full of criticism and full of insecurity, basically.
yeah,
And now I see that yes, now I have more kilos, but I don't feel like back then I was feeling that I'm not pretty and my body is not nice, and now I see the pictures, I'm like, what were you talking about, but
yeah,
we do that, right? Because we are conditioned to go towards specific um, prototypes, or let's say the pretty model of
yeah.
being those kilos and uh, these kind of characteristics.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's really difficult because, like you say, like even though you probably weren't overweight and you had no reason really to feel like that, you couldn't see that at the time, and I think that's something that so many women struggle with. We hold ourselves to this standard because of this conditioning. I can really relate to this, actually. I really attached my worth to my body image, and I see this with so many women, and I think probably any women listening to this
Yeah,
have probably felt this at some point in their lives, if not still
if
feeling it
not
now.
still, yeah.
Yeah, and there's something that I think is really interesting when you look at nutrition, as opposed to dieting. I think I see nutrition and dieting as two separate things. When you actually look at working on your nutrition, like you say, it changes how you feel. It does change the way you see yourself, because you're empowering yourself, right? You're empowering yourself to make good, healthy choices for your body. You are empowering yourself to, yeah, just make yourself feel better. Um, and it's really, it really changes the way
Yeah.
you put your energy out into the world, I
Mhm.
think.
So, what would you say to the ladies watching now that they are still very criticizing towards them? So, like, for example, I have this friend of mine that the only goal that she has in life is to lose like 10, 15 kilos. She doesn't. It's like everything is depending on how much she weighs. So she says, my greatest goal is to do that and nothing else.
Mm,
And she really believes that is going to give her the absolute happiness, because she's going to get there. So what would you say to a woman that is going through that phase, with body shaming and not feeling worthy and
yeah, I
uh,
think, I mean, first of all, like, so much love to your friend. Like, give her the support, give her the love and the care that she's not able to show herself right now, right? Because it's it's so difficult when you're in that place. We put value on, is it, I don't know if it's an external thing. Potentially, it's how we view ourselves. So say we're looking onto ourselves, we put so much value onto this. We think that that's what's going to make us happy, and the thing that I've seen is that actually, I think sometimes it's the thing that we feel like we can control. It feels more controllable maybe than other factors in our life, so that's why we try to control it. But the thing that I have seen a lot is that I will start working with women who want to lose weight. They have a goal to be a certain weight or size on the scale. As we go through the process, as we go through the journey, it's never the weight that makes them happy in the end. It's never that gets them to find this fulfillment and this joy and this happiness in their life. It's always the things that they learn along the way. It's the things that they teach themselves by taking the actions and building the confidence. I mean, like I say, like I really believe that this is key to building success. It's all about self-care and how we treat ourselves. And I've seen women that go on to, you know, double their salaries or just completely change their careers and things like that because they've built that confidence. So to someone that really that is the end goal right now, I would say ask yourself why. What makes you want to achieve that so much? What is the importance of that to you? Because okay, potentially it could be linked to a health related goal. If you are someone that is heavily overweight or obese, then okay, yeah, that should be a goal, but it shouldn't be the main goal. It shouldn't be about the way you look. It should be about how to make yourself feel better, how to build longevity for yourself, how to nourish yourself. But ask yourself why that is the goal, because I think we don't spend enough time actually asking ourselves why we want things. We want things because it's what, again, we've been conditioned to think that we should want or need, or it's because we see our other friends, family, people in our communities have it, and we think, well, they're happy, so that must be what I need. And we never really ask ourselves what's actually important to us. And it's really, yeah.
Sometimes they don't know though. Like for example, this one, she will reply, "I want to feel good in my clothes." In my opinion, it's about what you said before, the control, which is very important. Like it's an aspect that you have control in life, in contrast with other aspects that you might not have control. So you're focusing on that. But if you ask, she's gonna reply, and she doesn't mind me talking about it. I know we're very close, and she knows that. So I'm sure she will wait. She will be waiting to hear your replies as well. But she will say, "I want to feel good in my clothes," and that's it. And many times we discuss this. That is this really the reason that you want to lose the weight? Is it because you're going to feel good in your clothes? Yes, of course you're going to feel good in your clothes, but why now is so bad? She's not like she doesn't have health problems due to her weight. She's just a little bit overweight.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's called like the 5 whys or something. So you ask yourself 5 times, and then that gets you actually to the root of the answer. And I think again, this is something that we miss. So when we do ask ourselves what we want, we do just go to the first thing that comes up. And again, that's not really what's like at the core of us. It's the first thing. I don't know, maybe we watched something on YouTube in the morning and that's influenced that first thought, right? It can be anything, or we've just had a conversation with someone and that's influenced that to be the first thought that comes into your head. So I don't think you should ever stop at the first why. If the answer is because I want to feel good in my clothes, well, maybe the next question should be, what does that bring me? What do I gain from that? You know, what does it achieve? because perhaps I don't know, perhaps you're associating that to, I mean, in my experience, it's easier to talk about it in relation to kind of my journey with it. I think I grew up very much of the belief that I would be a homemaker maybe, and I needed to marry, and I probably wanted to marry someone with a bit of wealth so that I'd have a nice life. And I don't know where that came from for me. There was definitely very much like a diet culture in my family growing up. And I think just from the media, and I guess it's just, I know I'm not alone in this, right? So it comes from somewhere.
It's a lot of input.
Yeah. So like I say, like I very much had my like body image tied to my ability to get that right. I needed to look a certain way and be attractive and be a bit sexy, and to be able to get that into my life. So maybe in my case, I would think, well, I need to fit into these clothes, because if I fit into these clothes, I'll look this certain way, and then that will attract that. So you have to go all the way down the chain to what you really want. And sometimes I think I've seen people relate their weight or their size to the attention that they get and how they get received by others. But I actually think it's much more connected to the energy that you give when you feel a certain way. So if you can teach yourself and create that feeling in your body, it then becomes detached from your body image. It becomes detached from the weight or the number on the scales or the measurement of your waist. It becomes about how you feel.
Yeah. So how about these diet cycles that, actually they teach us very well to go into? It's like they growing up, you are taught that every now and then you have to go on a diet, and you have 1 million ways to diet, and then you do it, and then you drain yourself so much that you cannot keep it, and then you go back to what you were doing before, whatever that is. That's how they gain the way back most of the times.
Yeah.
So what's happening with that? Like, why do we go in the cycles, and how can we get out of it? What's the right way to go about it?
I mean, I think when it comes to dieting, it's so complicated. And I think at this point, there's been so many different diets. Every year there's like, yep, this is the thing that you should be doing this year. And there's been, again, like there's just been really awful marketing and things like that lead us to believe things that aren't true. There's no quick fixes. There's no 10 pounds in 10 days. I mean, okay, that's not entirely true, right? You could get those results, but as you say, Christiana, those are the diets that you get the results, and then a year later you're back exactly where you started, if not actually worse. Like quite often what happens when people are doing these really restrictive, really controlled diets to lose weight quickly is not only do they regain the weight, they gain more weight than they were before. So they're really damaging. And, they're, I mean, so poor on your mental well-being as well, putting yourself through these cycles, these ups and downs, and it's just so unstable. And I think the reason we get stuck in them is because we do see those results, right? We do a diet. Again, I've been there. I've tried them all in the past, like done them all. And you do get results, right? And you think, oh, great, this works, brilliant. However, you then go back to your normal ways, and slowly it creeps back up on you. And you think, oh gosh, right, I need to start that again. It worked for me last time, so I know what to do. I've just got to stick at it. But the trouble is with a diet, in the sense of a diet, I think they are usually too restrictive. They are not they're not centered around you and your body and what works for you and what you enjoy. And so it is just a diet. It's for a short term, and it's not sustainable. So we think these things work, right? But if you can't sustain it, if you are regaining the weight, if you aren't being able to keep that weight off, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
How can it work if you keep ending up back where you were before? And it's something I really, really want to change in the way people see diets, because I see it so much. People just keep restarting. They're so stuck in this cycle. And you really don't need to be. There is such a better way to approach it that, as I say, isn't just gonna shift the number on the scales. It's going to change the way you actually feel about yourself. It's going to change what you can achieve. It's going to change the way you show up. It's going to improve your sleep. It's going to improve your mental well-being. And that's just by learning how to build your meals properly, how to include foods that are giving your body the nutrition that it needs. Actually, something that I always think is really interesting is a lot of the women that I work with, when I start working with them and I review their diets, they actually need to eat more.
Yeah.
They've actually cut back and restricted so much that it's not sustainable for their bodies. Their bodies can't do what they need to do. They're exhausted, they're drained, they feel like absolute rubbish because they aren't giving themselves the nourishment that they need.
Yeah. Yes. Also, I mean, for the diets, if it's not pleasant, what is the point? You know, like sometimes, when I was in that mindset, I was like, oh my God, I have to go on a diet. It was like, it was the worst case thing that could happen to me to go on a diet. I was like, oh, I have to go on a diet now. And I was not enjoying it. I was just doing it because I didn't love me as I was, first of all. So I was doing it just to get to a point that I can accept myself under circumstances, under conditions. And also what you said about the nutrition, a few months ago, I started working with a nutritionist. And the reason I went was because I'm eating healthy food, but I noticed that I was not feeling energetic. And also when she measured, everything, even though I'm exercising, my muscles were under the normal, level that they should be. And she told me that what you're eating is not helping your muscles to be fed. And this is what you're saying. Is like I was eating, but I was eating less, and I was not eating the nutritions that my body needed. And you think that you're doing a good job, and then when you learn, it's not like that, right?
Yeah. It's I think it's really difficult because it can get very complicated. Like if you don't understand how food actually works within your body, if you don't understand different nutrients and vitamins and what they can do for you, well, it's not even going to cross your mind to think about how to nourish your body. It's not even going to cross your mind that this is going to make you feel better or feel different, because I don't know, we're not taught it. I mean,
We
which
need training. We need
yeah.
training. We're happy to have people like you. We need training on that, because the training that we got, it was toxic. I'm not going to say even wrong. It was toxic. So let's say a woman that now wants to get into this way of thinking and way of eating, not doing the diets. So how do you start?
I mean, I've talked about a little bit already, like understanding what you actually want, because I think that's quite crucial, because especially if you are not overweight, if your weight is not unhealthy or risk at all, I really would ask yourself, what you think you're going to gain from it. What's it going to add to your life? Why it's important to you? Because you might find that actually you're putting your attention there for the wrong reasons. But the second thing that I think I seem to be talking about this a lot recently, is knowing how to listen to your body, listen to what your body's saying. So like in your example where you were eating healthy, you were doing everything right, but actually there were some things that weren't quite feeling right in your body, and you identified that, which meant you could take an action to figure out what was going on and then change your diet to be able to support your muscles and support your body fully. When you can listen into your body, it tells you a lot. It really sends you lots of signs and signals every day about how you're feeling, about if you have enough energy, about if you have any joint pains or muscle pains or headaches. Headaches is a huge one. If you are suffering with headaches constantly, massive one for me. I had headaches for years and years and years. I just used to pop pills and pop pills and pop pills. And at no point was I like, oh, right, actually, maybe I'm not looking after my body properly. Like, and I mean, okay, maybe now and again I get an odd headache if I've not drunk enough water or something like that, where I've had a busy day. But I couldn't tell you the last time I had a headache. And that was for years. And I just ignored it because, again, no one had taught me that means something. Like, that means that you're not nourishing yourself properly and you're not giving your body something that it needs. So I think the first thing that's really, really important is, first of all, just to take 5 minutes. Doesn't have to be long. I've actually been doing this on my Instagram account. I've been sharing what's been coming up for me when I do these check-ins over this last week. One of the things that came up, I said my eyelids felt heavy, and it's just feeling into that and going, hang on, what does that mean? Have I felt like that for a while? Is it just today? Then looking back over the last week or a couple of days to see what that means. In my case, I look back and I went, oh yeah, I had a 4 a.m. start yesterday. I worked all day long. I'm just a bit tired, right?
Yeah.
I just need a bit of extra sleep. Like, there was no concern. But you know, this can really help you to understand what's going on in your body. And if you do need to look at your diet or your water intake, that's a huge one.
And that's one of my difficulties as well. You know, I've always remembered myself trying to drink more water, you know. And I read a study lately that I think it was 70% of people in America are dehydrated, which is amazing. I mean, it's a huge, I can understand why, but it's huge percentage. And water is really, really important in our and our energy as well, and for everything to function well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, mild dehydration is really much more common, and there's lots of really subtle signs. So you know, if you feel thirsty, you're already past the point, right? You should not be getting to that point. So if you're feeling thirsty at all, please go drink some water right now. And again, you know, your water intake, I mean, I don't want to get into how much you need because that will vary person to person. But again, it's one of those things, if you can feel into that, if you can feel that you're a bit thirsty or you've got a headache, or you just said then energy, water will completely change your energy levels. It's incredible that just by drinking enough water, how much more energy you can feel and how much better you can feel. So yeah, it's those types of things that you can tune into and really make the difference through.
So you have a goal, you have a mission to change the narrative of diet culture. How are you doing that? I mean, how can somebody work with you, or how do you make this journey for
Yeah.
somebody? How are you changing the narrative?
Yeah. I mean, I really, I mean, there's so many things that I just want to really change the understanding of the word diet itself, for starters, right? You know, we associate that with restriction, we associate it with cutting back, but our diets are what we do every day. We are all, you know, the diet is the food that we eat. And I really wish it didn't have this negative connotation to it, because your diet's really important, but not in the sense that we think of diets. Um, so yeah, so I mean, my key kind of philosophy and the way that we work through this is to focus on nourishment over restriction. So as I say, I've rarely ever worked with someone who's had to eat less. What we normally look at is what we can build in to make what you're doing better, and that might mean making some slight changes to an alternative that's better for your body. Maybe switching from white pasta to whole grain pasta, as an example, something like that. So just small tweaks that are manageable. It's not changing how you're eating or the amount you're eating, but just to begin with, making shifts to make it better. And then looking at what you're not eating that your body needs. What are you missing? Because I think there's so many foods that we don't think about. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for a plant-based diet, and when I say plant-based diet, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what that means. That just means a heavy focus on including lots of different fruits, vegetables, beans, seeds, nuts, grains, anything that's grown, right? It doesn't mean cutting out meat. It doesn't mean cutting out dairy. It doesn't mean cutting out fish or anything like that. It just means that we really focus on these other plants and getting lots of plants into our diet. And the reason that is so important is because it makes sure you get this range of nutrition. So it's a real focus on what you can add instead of what you can take away. And as I say, it's not about, I know that this is an important goal for so many people, but I don't want it to be about your body size, the number on the scale, because ultimately, okay, yeah, like you're gonna feel differently if you can look in the mirror and see yourself the way you want to, but it's gonna be the things that you learn about yourself. It's gonna be how you empower yourself around your diet choices, around your food, about how to take care of yourself, that's ultimately gonna make you feel differently, that's gonna make you show up differently.
So you're not only working on the nutrition, but also on the actual self-image of a person, right? On how you perceive yourself.
Yeah. And I think I do take a really unique approach, because I mean, I love nutrition and it really centers around this, but I do work with people to look at their values, what matters to them as well. Because again, I get lots of people that come to work with me and they want to lose weight. It's normally the number one goal. Then when we work through this, there's actually other things that are much more important. And I think until you really know what you actually want or what you want it for, it's hard to take the right actions, but it's also hard to keep going. It's hard to keep that motivation and that momentum, because you don't really know what you're doing it for. It doesn't have a reason. So you need to have a reason to want to do it. So yeah, it's quite a unique approach, because it shifts away perhaps more to the mindset and that side of things as well.
Which is amazing. It's amazing because it's throughout all these years, everybody was focusing just on losing weight. Like I mentioned myself going back then a few months ago, I didn't know you yet. So, to my nutritionist, and what I was looking for actually was somebody who could explain a lot of things about nutrition and train me, because I have done almost every diet, like like you mentioned before, and nobody ever really explained why do I have bloatings, why is this happening, why I'm losing muscle if I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising. So what you're saying is truly important, because it gives you another perspective of what food is. You learn a lot about your body as well. So I love what you're doing. It is unique. So somebody who wants to work with you, they can do this one-to-one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So right now I'm offering one-to-one programs. So we work together. So we go on the journey together. And I mean, that's the bit that I just absolutely love, is seeing the transformation and the changes that people make when they go through this. So yeah,
That's great. Where can they find you, Lauren?
So best place to find me is on Instagram at Lauren Rae Coaching.
She's gone. Okay, let's give some time to Lauren to come back. You can go on Instagram and check out Lauren Rae Coaching and get in touch with Lauren. Let me just bring her back. I think she's back in. Oh, you disappeared.
I know, I don't know what happened there. It just cut off. I'm still here. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Okay, so Instagram, Lauren Rae Coaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
where
get
you
in
can
touch
catch
with
me.
you. That's amazing. Lauren, thank you very, very much for the insights. I think what you're doing is very, very useful for us women, because we have been given a lot of toxic guidance. And we will surely meet again. We are also in the Thrive community, and our our talks are coming up. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah. Do you know what? This was like a massive step for me, because, and this is like, it's an example of what you can create when you really learn to nourish yourself. Because, I mean, this is a whole other backstory, but I was like so shy. I was so insecure. I would never have put myself in front of people. So to be talking on a stage like this is like my ultimate challenge, and it's really exciting. I just can't wait to share more about this, and share my mission, and just change this perception of nutrition and diet. So it's going to be such a cool event. There is just, the speakers are amazing, and it's awesome. If you haven't got your ticket yet, please go get it, because
Yeah. So thank you very much, Lauren, and we will surely meet again. We are also connected here on our social, and I invite everybody to go follow Lauren. She's got a lot of great insights on nutrition on her profile. Thank you very much.